Yeah.
All
Okay.
right,
Cool.
awesome.
So, okay. So sorry guys, this is a little bit messier than we anticipated. We actually did test this out earlier and everything was working just fine. And then of course when you go live, like it all falls apart. So since we're doing that, Tamykah, why don't you just introduce yourself and tell everyone like who you are, give them a little background while I share this to my business page so the people who are looking there can find us.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Hey everyone. My name is Tamykah Anthony-Marston. I'm a forensic toxicologist and the founder and creator of Xanthine's All Natural Products. Hey Miranda.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, give me 1 second. We are, it's hard to type with one hand. Okay. So, oh,
Hey
really? Now it's
Jessica.
going to tell me the privacy settings? What? Uh, why is Facebook playing with me right now? Okay, had to change the privacy settings so that I could share it to my page. So annoying. Well, people are finding us, so that's good. Okay.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah, we actually did like try to get organized and do this properly. So, okay. So, hopefully, let me just check the business page and make sure this is broadcasting. And let's see. We are. Okay, cool. So it's there and I'll monitor that page to make in case people are there and they, ask questions or make comments or whatever. And then I'll just let you know if anything pops up.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we're finally going to get started. Sorry about the delay,
Okay,
guys.
cool.
We are here to share what we're both passionate about, which is health and wellness, obviously, and specifically around the things that we are bringing into our homes and putting into our bodies that are, contributing to really unwanted things that women, both older women and some younger women, are starting to experience. And we'll talk about what those things are, and I'll talk a little bit about how those things are manifesting, how you are possibly uh, being affected by these things that are being put into our beauty and cosmetic products. So Tamykah is going to go through the science behind these products and what they're
Mhm.
actually doing to the body in terms of, their interaction. And I will talk about how they might be showing up in your life. So Tamykah, take it away.
All righty, thank you. First, I would like to say this is something I'm really passionate about because seeing is a lot of the young girls are getting their menses faster. A lot of the young men, they're also having reproductive issues when they shouldn't be. And I think a lot of us are focused a lot on what we're eating, but there are a lot of issues to it, the products that we're using. So you can have a really clean diet, but if you're not using the right products, then it can have the same effect as having a, lack of a better word, dirty diet. So the thing about the cosmetic and the beauty industry, especially for us women, is that it's not regulated by anything and anyone really. So a company could come out and say that they're all natural or they have no toxic ingredients, but there's no real entity that's actually governing that checks these products before they're put out there. So basically, when you read the marketing, you're taking their word for it. And as we know, everything is a business, so it's more profitable for them to, I guess, not be honest as they probably should be. So this is about reading the labeling, but I will say that some of the cosmetic and beauty products don't necessarily have labeling on them, which is another problem. If you pick up your lipstick, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see anything on there as far as what's in it. We just kind of trusting that it's okay. So a couple of the things that we want to talk about. The one today is really just focused on the beauty and cosmetic stuff, but there's a whole slew of other products, women that we use like feminine hygiene products and things like that. But for today, we're going to focus mostly on the cosmetic and the beauty part of it. So the first one I want to talk about is formaldehyde. Now, when we think formaldehyde, what do we think about? Dead bodies, embalming, things like that. So formaldehyde pretty much is used as a preserver. A lot of our clothes, which is why your grandmother probably told you to wash your clothes before you wear them. She probably didn't think about formaldehyde, but somewhere they figured that part out. that they use the formaldehyde, the clothes, so that they can travel from other. The formaldehyde is a big
Uh-oh, we're
problem.
losing you. We lost your, we can't, Tamykah, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but you're breaking up. Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit, so can you just rewind just like 2 seconds back? You were saying about the formaldehyde in the clothes.
Sure, sure, sure. So the formal,
You're breaking up a little
yeah,
bit, but
definitely.
it's
So the
better.
clothes, they use the formaldehyde in clothes to, it's better. Yeah, my apologies, guys.
Hmm.
Hiding from
No, no,
kids
it's
right
okay. Wi-Fi.
now. But the yeah, exactly. So the formaldehyde they use in the clothes to preserve the clothes so that they can, travel long distances
Hmm.
from China, to where we are. And the formaldehyde it preserves them so that no bacteria and things like that can live on the clothes. They won't get molded. But the downside to the formaldehyde is it's a carcinogen. And for those of us that don't know what the carcinogen means, it means that it causes cancer. It's also a skin irritant. A lot of people they have a problem wearing clothes because when they first buy it from the store without washing it, because it starts making them itch. It makes
Yeah.
them itchy, and the reason why that is because of the formaldehyde. So aside from the clothes, formaldehyde is also in nail polish,
Hmm.
ladies. I know a lot of the natural brands, so-called natural brands, now are saying that they're 10 free or 9 free as far as like the 10 most toxic, products, ingredients in the nail polish. But at the end of the day, no one is governing that. So we don't really know what's in it. And there have been some independent tests I've done that said that the things that they're saying they're free of, they're really not actually free of. So formaldehyde can be found in the nail polish. It also found in the hair dye, nail polish, hair dye, and also the fake eyelash glue.
Oh,
So the stuff that you're
don't even get me
the stuff that you're
started
using
on the
to
fake eyelashes, please.
I know.
Please.
But it's also found in there and also your shampoos and some conditioners. And you can read the labeling on some of them and they will
Hmm.
say that
Yeah.
on there. But some companies do find different ways of masking some ingredients because the general public doesn't necessarily always know, you know what I mean, like what certain
Right.
words mean. So that's the formaldehyde. I don't know if you want to add anything as far as, how that, have you seen
Um,
that maybe translate into,
Not specifically about formaldehyde. Most of the women that I've dealt with have had like thyroid problems or PMS or
right,
menopause or
right.
whatever, and I do believe that things like the
Mm-hmm.
formaldehyde are throwing off their hormones. So after we do the dietary cleanup,
Right,
if they aren't getting better, then it is,
right,
the next step is definitely to take a look at the things that they're using, the things that they're putting into their body, on their body, on their skin, and
right,
working through that for sure.
right. And I want to talk about hormones for a
Yeah.
second. So we're talking today about
Chemicals.
endocrine disrupting um, chemicals. And endocrine disrupt, I know that might sound like it's a foreign thing, but the endocrine system is what our hormones are governed by. And if the endocrine system is messed up, that means your hormones are out of whack. They either are overactive, underactive. There's a whole slew of things that could go wrong when your hormones are not intact. So hormones, they govern reproduction. So if your hormones are not intact, that might cause someone to have fertility issues. That might cause someone to have a premature menses. That might cause the testes not to descend in males. So hormones pretty much govern everything. If your hormones are out of whack, then that's a really big problem for your
Absolutely.
body. So I wanted to mention that because that's what we're talking about today, but we don't really know, like, people understand, like, why it's a big
Right.
issue. There's a lot of young girls now, like I mentioned earlier, that are having issues having, puberty at 8,
Yeah.
at 7. And a lot of this has to do with endocrine disrupting
Absolutely.
chemicals. The next one I want to
Before
talk about
you
is actually really,
before you
really,
go there, I just
uh-huh.
want to give a little bit of a some context for when we say, so one of the things that I
Mm-hmm.
learned when I was studying environmental toxins and how it affects the body is just how sensitive those hormonal balances are, right? So if you take an Olympic size pool,
Right.
right? If you fill an Olympic size pool, that's a lot of water, right? It literally takes 1 teaspoon of an endocrine disrupting chemical to throw off the balance
That's right.
in a size of in a pool, an Olympic sized pool of water. So that is like 1 teaspoon compared
That's
to
right.
60,000, I think it's like 60,000 gallons of water in an Olympic sized pool. That
Yes.
is how sensitive that balance is. So when you think about, oh, well, it's just a small dose, I'm just using a little bit of lip gloss, or I'm just using a little bit of this, or I'm just using a little bit of that, think about how many times a day you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's every single day, right? Every single day
Right.
we're taking a shower. What are you using in the shower? After you get out of the shower, you're putting lotion on. What's in your lotion? Then you're putting makeup on, and then you're
Right.
doing your hair, and then you got deodorant, and then you spray your perfume or your smell goods, your Victoria's Secret, all that kind of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so I read a statistic that a
Yuck.
woman comes into counter with, I think it's like 184 different chemicals every single day, just from
That's
the products
correct.
that she's putting on to get ready to go
Every
outside
day.
every single day. And so, to your point with the younger girls, when you start your younger daughters, nieces, whatever, putting on the Victoria's Secrets, putting on the Bath and Body Works spray because it smells
Mm-hmm.
good, understand that you're introducing them to those chemicals at that early age. And what that is, and
Right.
that's starting a practice for
Right.
them. That becomes their habit. So that becomes their go-to, right? Until they, hopefully learn that that is not good for them and they make other choices. But just to keep in mind, like, that's how delicate the balance is. And to keep that in mind every time you are coming into contact with
Mm-hmm.
something. So sorry to derail. I just wanted to throw that in.
That's correct. No, you didn't derail. Actually, that brings me to my next ingredient, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fragrance. So I don't know, for those of you that are watching, if you have like a product that you use close by, like a lotion or a scrub or anything that you're applying to your body, if you look at the ingredients and it says anything like fragrance, the word fragrance, or the word perfume, Parfum, that is like one of those, like, that's like the biggest dirty little secret for me.
Yeah.
And that one word, fragrance, can actually stand for up to about 1,500 different
Yes.
chemicals that they've put together to create that scent. So
Yep.
that might not sound like
It's
an
a
issue,
class
but the
of
problem is
chemicals,
that
right?
those same chemicals, right? And if you call the company and you say, you know what, I'm having a reaction to this particular deodorant, can you tell me what your ingredients are? And they read them off to you and they say fragrance, and you stop them and you say, well, what's that fragrance? Like, what is that? They don't have to tell you
Nope.
because it's classified as a trade secret. That's like their secret sauce. So they don't have to tell you what the ingredients are. And that's a problem because those ingredients are usually
Right.
phthalates. The phthalates are spelled
Yep.
PHTHALATES. And phthalates are one of the biggest endocrine disruptors that they are. And if you imagine all of those chemicals being phthalates, so now imagine 500 different chemicals in this wonderful little mixture that we call whatever those names are at
Right.
Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works now. And it's like one little spray is now introducing all of those chemicals into your home, onto your body. And if you have young children, especially developing children, or you're pregnant, that's also affecting all of that as well. So be very
Absolutely.
mindful of that fragrance because if it's a fragrance, they should be able to tell you what each ingredient is, but they don't have to.
Right.
So any product that you have that has that in there, just know that it's a great possibility that that fragrance is standing for carcinogens, cancer causing again, endocrine disruptors, and a slew of all these other things. I mean, we can't really control a lot of things in the environment, meaning that the air that we breathe right now, it's probably a lot of things floating around in it. So we have to make a decision as to which things we're going to
Right.
eliminate. So this is really about having the knowledge so you can say, you know what, I really like my nail polish, so I'm going to keep using that. But I didn't know that about the eyelash glue, so maybe I'll stop using
Right.
that. So it's about weighing and seeing what makes sense for you.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you want to speak more on the
Yeah,
on the
there was just one
phthalates, but
point.
that's one of my bigger issues.
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned that I was really surprised about because I had heard about phthalates and, the word fragrance, and I stopped, purchasing things that had
Hmm.
fragrance on them. And so I always thought fragrance free was safe, right? Until I took this course, and my
Oh
instructor
no,
told us that even fragrance free isn't safe because there are chemicals that
that's
mask
true.
smells so that they can put on the label that it's fragrance
Right,
free, but it doesn't mean that it's phthalate free. It doesn't mean that it
right.
truly is fragrance free. So this is where reading the labels and knowing what to look for becomes really important.
Hmm.
And yeah, the other thing I
Right.
wanted to say was
Absolutely.
it is about having choices, right? You know, as I was telling Tamykah earlier, during the wintertime, I don't do the nail polish, right? I save that for the summertime. I choose to do nail polish during the summertime and not do it during the wintertime, um, as
Mm-hmm.
a trade-off, right? So, you know, we all have to figure out what that balance is for us. But it is, you know, you have to have the
Mm-hmm.
information, you have to know what your options are and be informed first.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And the problem that I have is I want to know what's in everything, right? Like I want to know, I feel like that should be information available to the public unless it's something bad. So if you're not telling me what's in it, that means it's probably not good for me,
I agree.
and there's a lot of young girls now I've seen that shop at the Victoria's Secret and they shop at the Bath and Body Works and they buy all of these sprays. They're 3 for $10, the Moonlight something or Dream this or whatever. And it's like they're repeating what they've learned because their moms or have used it, or I mean I've even used it prior to knowing
Totally. So
better,
did I.
right? And right, and the older people, like me or yourself, we are exposed to a certain amount of toxins that is now being doubled and tripled. So while it might not have affected us in the same way back then, right? It's affecting them differently now because they're exposed to so much. It's like an overload of toxicity all around them. You know what I mean? So we really do have to pay attention because there are things that we can't deny. We can't deny that there are young girls getting menses now at 9 or 8 rather than getting it at 15 or 16 when it's deemed more
Right.
appropriate. We can't deny that there are young boys with that are 20, 21 years old sperm counts, right? So while we can't I guess target every single thing, there are things that we can there are choices that we can make that are not necessities in life. Like cosmetics are not necessities. They're something that we like to do, but how much how we willing to sacrifice by using those things.
Absolutely.
And there's been a big issue now with the lead. If you guys have watched the news, but in the news there are some children now that have been exposed to lead and they just found out, and those children are now having developmental
Mm-hmm.
issues or have had that. They have learning disabilities and things like that, and people think, oh, lead, and they think paint. They're like, okay, lead free paint, so I'm good. But lead is in a lot of things that people may or may not know about. Eyeliner,
Absolutely.
most of them, I think 95% of them have lead in there, right? So maybe you think, okay, well, it's only a small amount of of lead in the eyeliner, but how many times a week do you apply
Mm-hmm.
eyeliner? It starts adding up after a while, and that's right next to your eye. So it's even a deeper level of entry into the body.
Right.
Lead is in nail polish. Lead is in lipsticks. A lot of the lipsticks have lead in it. And it's like you look at the labeling and there is no label on certain things, so you have no idea what's
Right.
in it. You know what I mean? And there's
Right.
no government entity that's like the FDA, which they don't really do that great of a job anyway with the food, but there's not even an entity that's governing it and saying, you know what, you cannot put out that makeup brand until we test it and make sure that it is what it is.
Right.
It might say organic, but some people don't know organic doesn't mean 100% organic. To classify yourself as organic, you just have to be 95 or 98% organic. What's that other two? What's the other
Right.
2%? Right? That's what I want to know about. So it's really about making certain choices, because the more you know, the more you have to be responsible for.
Absolutely.
Meaning like, okay, before seeing this, it's like I didn't really know about it, so I can keep doing it. But now you know. So what do you do with the information, now? Do you have anything else to say about the lead?
Other than you taught me something new, I didn't know that it was in eyeliner. I'm like, crap. That was like after mascara. That's my next favorite piece of
Sorry,
makeup.
Jessica.
Like, dang it.
I know. And these things come from other countries a lot of the times. And what we don't realize is that they have to be preserved and get to
Right.
us and still be quote unquote fresh.
Right.
Preservatives
Nope.
are not usually wonderful things at all.
Right.
Right. So,
Right.
that's something to think about as well.
Right.
And there
Oh,
are natural makeup brands out that I've seen. I don't know that they're natural. I'm saying that they're tooting themselves as natural.
yeah.
I personally am not going to say that anything is natural or anything is anything unless I made it myself. You know
There
what I
you
mean?
go.
So you can do your investigation and, call them up and see what's in it and ask questions.
Hmm.
But again, they don't necessarily have to give you the correct answer or answer you at all.
Right.
That should also indicate you probably shouldn't be spending your money there.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. So
And the only thing I would
um,
add to that is
what?
I think having, understanding that we are going to come into a certain amount of chemicals, right? To your point, from the water, from the air,
Right.
all of that, and from the things that we do use and don't have any
Hmm.
really control over that. It just makes it more
Right.
important to do seasonal
Hmm.
detoxes, right? To help support your liver and your
Right.
kidneys to get rid of those things because yeah,
Hmm.
our bodies go through a nightly detox process, but because we are inundated with so many toxins, not just from the from the products, but also from the food and the air and the water
Right.
and everything else, our livers and our kidneys are way overburdened than any other generation ever before,
Hmm.
and they become sluggish, and then those toxins don't really get excreted the way that they
Hmm.
should. um, so I like to do a
That's
seasonal
true.
detox just to really focus on giving my liver, my kidneys that extra support so that they can work more efficiently and excrete a lot of that waste.
Hmm. Right, right. Definitely. I definitely agree with that. And you're the perfect person to to talk about the detoxes with, because
Yes,
you're really great at that holistic healing and getting people on the right track in that way.
absolutely.
I think we had spoken about the BPA's,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The plastic. That's like a big thing now. Everything is BPA free. And the reason why is those are also endocrine disruptors because those kind of anytime you can mimic a hormone in the body, that's a problem because the body's going to interpret that as what it is. So if you're a guy and you shouldn't have a lot of estrogen, and if you're a woman, you shouldn't have an extra amount of estrogen either. That throws the body all out of whack. So BPA's are usually in things that are plastic,
Yep.
plastic water bottles, plastic bowls. So now you see the marketing and it'll say BPA free, and people think too that's a wonderful thing, so now I don't have to worry about that. But a lot of things that are BPA free are usually not BPS free, and without getting into the deep science, that can also be very harmful. So a
Absolutely.
lot of these companies will capitalize on what's the new craze. So now people are having gluten allergies and things like that free, but then what is it that you're replacing that other thing with that wasn't good for us?
My
So
favorite
things
is
are
when they
now
put,
BPA free, but it's
right,
like now you replaced it
with BPS or
you replaced it with
BPF.
BPS, which is almost
Right.
just as bad as BPA.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, just plastics are not good. I would just suggest not using plastics,
Right,
period.
totally. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see
So
behind
I
me,
thought I
but
lost you there
I'm a
for a
mason
second.
jar fanatic. Everything, and my Tupperware is all glass. It's glass, everything in the house. Glass, stainless steel, ceramic,
Hmm.
um, cast iron. That's what we use in my house. My boyfriend already knows. But if he brings something from something in plastic, I'm looking at him like, I don't know where you think that's going. In the garbage. That's not staying here. So he already knows.
But you know what's important too is that it's just the plastic that we think about when we're eating.
Right.
Like those phthalates that we talked about before
Totally.
that are endocrine disruptors, they're also in that shower curtain. You know that
Yeah.
that shower curtain smell
Yep.
that when you open this that like terrible strong smell,
Hmm.
that's not a good smell. That usually indicates that something really bad is in it.
Right.
It's in lunch boxes for kids. It's in pacifiers for
Some baby
for
bottles.
children.
They make
The
baby
problem is
bottles
that
out of it.
it's in the baby
So
bottles.
you're
Yes,
putting,
they do. They really
fruit
do.
juice in your baby's bottle, and that juice, the acidity from the juice is breaking down those chemicals, and you're leaching BPA into your
Absolutely.
baby, to your newborn baby, or to your 1 year old. Like, that's awesome, right?
Yeah, but it's about knowing better. And like I
Yes.
said, it's overwhelming because it's like, what can I use? I just want to live in a bubble. Then it's so many things that you shouldn't do, you shouldn't do, you shouldn't do.
Right.
But it's about having the knowledge and then using that knowledge to say, you know what? Let's be real. I'm still going to get my nails done. Let's be real. I'm still going to do my eyelashes. But maybe instead of using, perfumes or the strong fragrances like the body splashes, maybe I'll find some essential oils and I'll use
Right.
that instead.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's about finding what works for you and that you're comfortable with, but still having the knowledge so that you know what is in it or what may not be in it.
Absolutely.
One thing I want to talk about too is triclosan.
Hmm.
Triclosan is used for like antibacterial. So if your soap, like your hand soap or your dish soap or even your laundry soap, if it says antibacterial on it, 9 times out of 10 it has triclosan in it. And Obama actually, before he went out of office, he banned triclosan and any antibacterial, kind of thing like the dish
You're
soap or
right. I heard about
the
that.
laundry soap or the hand soap. Yeah, and thank God, because they were touting this stuff like, oh, it's antibacterial, so more people were buying it. But the problem is that the triclosan wasn't really any different than you just using soap and water. So it's kind of marketing scheme to make you
Right.
think that it's more antibacterial, it's getting rid of more germs, but actually it wasn't. It was the same as using soap and water, but in addition to not really working well, it was also adding things to the body. Because we got to remember, it's one thing to eat something, but it's a whole other thing to apply to your
Right.
skin. When you apply something to your skin, it's going
It's
in.
going directly into your
When you
bloodstream.
eat something, it has to go through all these different barriers.
Right.
Exactly. Yep. So, when you think about that, it's not just about you. Like I have a 1-year-old that I still breastfeed.
Right.
So when I use certain products, I have to be mindful, like, wait a minute, I might not put that on her, but if it's on me and I'm breastfeeding her, she's skin to skin with me, that means she's wearing it too.
Yep.
So that means I have to be mindful of, what I'm using. If you think about deodorant even, the baby's head is right in your armpit. Sometimes the baby's hand is in your armpit, then the hands go in the mouth. So if you're not okay with putting something on the baby, then it shouldn't be on you either. And that goes for any of your kids. You might not be concerned with you might want to have the smell good and say, you know what, I like Moonlit Dreams. And correct me if I'm wrong, I might have the name wrong of whatever body splash that
I
is.
would know.
But I want to use Moonlit Dreams. And that's cool for you. But at the same time, remember that you have a developing child. So that means that when you spray it into the air, it's not diffusing throughout your whole entire home. And that means that your children are breathing it in and they're being affected by it, whether you want to admit that or not. It's things like that. Okay, so maybe I will only put it on the weekend, them less. So it's about what works for you. Right. I had a conversation with somebody about their candles a few days ago, and they were like, I refuse to take the candles out of my home. And I said, well, the candles are usually made from paraffin wax. And the paraffin wax, when you burn it, it's okay being sold in the store because it's sold as is. But they don't really tell you what happens when you burn the candle. You add the flame to the candle. Now it's the equivalent of sticking your face into the exhaust pipe of a car, right? So imagine what that's going to do for your respiratory system. And people, sometimes you give them the information, but it's kind of like people want to do what they want to do. But I'm employing people to think about the children. You know what I mean? Like, your children are not like you. They're actually still developing.
Right.
So when you interfere with their hormones, that means that they're not going to function correctly. People are wondering why all of these kids now have all of these allergies, right? Like a couple of years ago, somebody might have been allergic to a peanut, or a walnut. Now kids are allergic to air. You know what I mean? Like they're allergic to the gluten-free, wheat-free. I'm allergic to shellfish and this and that and that. That's all part, that all can be contributed to by, disruption of hormones.
I mean, and even,
it all makes sense.
And even women our age, right? Like, I don't know about you, but if I scroll through Facebook, there's any number of women who are talking about how much, their PMS and how bad it is, or, older women who are dealing with menopause and having the hot flashes. And, I feel like women our age have been raised to accept those things, that they have to be the case, right? Like, I have to have PMS symptoms every month, or menopause is going to be this horrible event where, I'm going to have hot flashes for, umpteenth number of years. I'm going to gain weight and all this other stuff is going to happen. And I'm here to tell you that does not have to be your experience, right? And a lot of why that stuff is happening is just part of it is diet. But the other part of it, a lot of it is what we're using in our homes. What are you cleaning with? What are you putting on your body, to Tamykah's point? So you have the power to change your experience around things like PMS and menopause and perimenopause and thyroid problems and polycystic ovary syndrome and all of these diagnoses now. I mean, when I got diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome when I was like 12 years ago, so when I was like 32, 10 years ago when I was 32, no one had ever heard of it, right? I didn't even know what the hell it was. I was like, what? But now everyone has it, right? Millions of people have it. And it is literally just an imbalance in your hormones that are driving all kinds of craziness, inability to lose weight, low energy, acne, skin rashes, moodiness, depression, all of that stuff could literally be traced back to what are you putting in your mouth to eat and what are you putting on your body. Clean up both of those like
Right.
I did, and a lot of those things go away. It really is about empowering you to make choices. You have options. You might not know you have options, but you definitely have options.
Right.
That's all I want to say. I'm sorry.
Right. I totally agree with you. And I mean, I know this is I know this is about more beauty products and cosmetics, but like the cleaning products, like I have to throw that in there too because my God, like I know our grandmothers did it. They busted the bleach and the ammonia every
Everything. Girl.
every chance they got. But oh my God, that is a really horrible, horrible, horrible combination for the
Oh
respiratory
my God.
system. Anybody that I know that works as a cleaning person or any kind of maintenance that uses that has asthma
Yeah.
or they have some kind of respiratory, issue.
Bronchitis
You know what I
often.
mean? And there's fragrance in that too. So now you have, yes,
Yep.
yes, all the
Yep.
time. And that was part of the, like inspiration for me creating my brand. And no, my brand is Xanthene's.
Uh-oh. You cut. Are you still there? I think you're frozen.
Yeah, I'm here.
But
Did
you
you lose
froze.
me?
Yeah, you
No.
froze.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. So you froze right when you said
All
you're the
right, awesome.
producer of Zan Things, and then you went dark. So start say that part again, so everyone can hear it.
All right. So I'm the creator and founder of Xanthene's All Natural Products. And Xanthene's is spelled Xanthines, All Natural Products. And I went to school, like I said, to become a forensic toxicologist. But in my coursework, I started really paying attention to labels because when you start learning about toxic things, you want to know how many of those toxic things that you're learning about you're actually currently using. And the problem is that a
Yeah.
lot of these words, these chemicals, are like all of these long words that we have no idea what the word is, and we're like, oh, well, it's on the shelf, so I guess it's okay. Good. I'll take me after learning. It was like I had to start telling
Or
people
your
about it,
favorite
and I'm not
store
gonna go into
carries it,
personal
so like it must be safe.
because that you shouldn't use that. Exactly. So, my brand is all about, having healthier and, less toxic alternatives to the things that we're already
Yep.
using. Like the deodorant, like the toothpaste. And I mean, I can go on and on about the deodorant. That's like my big thing. That's probably for a whole nother segment. But deodorant, the cleaner,
Yeah.
and as I keep going, I create more and more and more products
Yep.
because it's a need for that because people really just don't know. Like those of you tuning in tonight came into learning, and I hope that you guys learn something. And if you have questions, please put them in the comments so that
Definitely.
we can answer them if need be.
Yep. Absolutely.
Um, but for me, it was really important to give the community something that was safe, right,
Yep.
and affordable,
Yep.
and also with the product, have them have someone they can talk to about it. So
Yes.
it's not just the product, but if you have questions, you can always reach out to me and ask, like, what is this ingredient? And I get those phone calls all the time. Like, so I'm reading my shampoo and it says X, Y, and Z. Can you tell me if that's good or not? You know what I mean? And I don't even
Mhm. You're you're breaking up just a little bit. So why don't you do the shampoo and the conditioner? Yeah, go for it. Uh-oh.
is one that is, pretty. Um, yeah, I'm still here. Am I still breaking up?
Uh-oh.
Am I still
Nope, I
breaking
think
up?
we're okay now.
Did you
Nope.
lose me? Okay. So we no,
No,
I'm still
no, we
gone.
can hear you. You're fine.
Okay, great. So shampoo. So the scalp. Our scalp is supposed to be acidic. That's pH 4.5. So for those that don't know, acidity, I don't know who remembers chemistry, but acidity is thank you. Products that are acidic or things that are acidic, they have a pH level from below 7. When something is neutral, then it's alkaline or basic from 7.1 and up. So your scalp, unless the other parts of your body, is supposed to be acidic. It's supposed to be a pH of 5. But the shampoos that we're using, we clean something, alkalinity is always better. So the shampoos are usually pretty alkaline. So now you've washed your hair with like alkaline shampoo. And now your scalp wants to go back to acidic. If you don't get back to acidic, it's going to be dry. And a lot of us, especially women of color, deal with the dryness as well. The shampoo is designed to make you think that your hair is soft again. So when you put the shampoo in and you're like, oh, slippage, I think that's what they call it, right? Slippage.
You're breaking up a little bit. Say that part again about when you put the conditioner in your hair.
So when you put the conditioner in your hair, it's kind of designed to make you think that your hair is softer. So you put the conditioner in and you comb through it and it's like smoother, but it's not really your hair. It's like a coating. So I don't know if you guys know about silicone, but if you look in the ingredients for your conditioner, you'll see something that sounds or looks like, silicone. Pentasiloxane thank you, Renee, slippage.
That's
thank
my
you,
mom. Hey, Mom.
So it creates that slippage, but it's not hi, Mom. But it's not really your hair being softer. It's just a coat being added onto your hair strands to make you think that it's softer. And it doesn't last very long. So that means that now you need to do the process over and over again. So for me, I don't really use too much. I use a co-wash sometimes. Sometimes I use baking soda and like apple cider vinegar to like rinse it to get the pH back right. We don't really need to use much. Some products are just created to make them you need them.
Yeah.
And then based on that, that's how the industry is created.
I'm going to need you to help me wash my hair with.
So, I think you were talking about your hair earlier.
Yeah, I was going to say, I am a product junkie when it comes to my hair. So you would probably like fall out and pass out if you saw the products that I have in my cabinet for my hair. I'm going to try to wash my hair the way you did and see what it looks like. I'm going to need to have my hairdresser on call in case I look crazy so she can fix it. But I'll let you know how it goes. I'm going to experiment. If you can do it, I can do it.
And like I said, I use certain things too that I know is the best because it's convenient, right? Like sometimes it's about convenience for us. And we have to just make that decision because there are a lot of things happening with our health right now, especially women of color.
Right.
Under 35, women of color are getting cancer like at rates right now. So although it might be convenient, we have to really, start taking accountability for the things that we're using, the things that we're eating, because we want to be around. I want to be around longer, and I want to be able to pass that knowledge along to my children, especially my daughters, so that they can make better decisions too. We want to start a new trend of, doing better,
and it's not
using better products.
Right.
And being more aware of it, because I think that's the problem is the awareness.
Right. And I would add that it's not about just being around, but it's the quality of life that you have when you are around. Right. So I want to live until however old I feel like living, but I don't want to be sick. I don't want to have to pop medication, 4 times a day and be worried that if my prescription runs out or I run out of money, then I can't get my medication. And then, you know what I mean? Like that's not the quality of life I'm looking for. So if it means I need to sacrifice some of this convenience so that I can set myself up to be healthier as I get older, then I think that's a trade-off that I'm willing to make. And everybody has to make their own decisions and make their own trade-offs for sure.
I definitely agree.
But that's important to me. That's worth it to me. So I know we've thrown a lot at you guys.
Does anyone have any?
Yeah, if you do, type them into the comments and we will answer your questions. We are probably going to do more of these as, we talked about. We highlighted a couple of other areas like cleaning products and some other stuff. But there is a whole lot more to be said about that. We want to, give you the specific things that you should be looking for so that you can start to learn to read labels, right? And know what to look for. So if you have questions or if you have ideas for something else that you would want us to talk about in terms of chemicals and products, definitely type them into the comments and we will set that up for you. So let me just refresh the business page and see if there are any questions there. So Miranda, I hope I'm saying her name right, wants to know what she should look for in shampoo.
Hey, Miranda. Miranda has great detox tea too, by the way.
Oh, cool.
So Miranda, when you look at the ingredients in the shampoo, just make sure look for paraben free and sulfate free. Those are the two big big things now. Sulfate free. One thing about that, the sulfates actually is what helps your hair suds up, but you don't really need suds for clean. It's just something that we've been come to condition to believe that you need like a sudsy type of thing to happen in order for something to be clean. Sulfates create suds, but they also create dryness. You know what I mean? So look for sulfate free and paraben free, and definitely start there.
Perfect. Any other questions? I don't know why I'm typing this. Yes, this recording will be available later for anyone who came in late and want to watch it from the beginning. So it will be posted on my wall, on my Facebook page and on my business page, so you guys can go back and watch it from the beginning. Any other questions about, we talked about eyeliner, we talked about lipstick, we talked about perfume, phthalates. Did you want to touch upon deodorant really quickly?
Yeah, I think the deodorant one might be actually like a
Okay.
whole nother beast
All
also.
right, we can save that one for the next one.
But for now, you guys, I mean, yeah, let's save
Okay,
that one.
cool. And that way we can go into further detail. Oh, one thing that I did want to tell everyone who is either watching this now or going to watch the replay. If you guys follow me at all or know me well, um, I don't really push certain brands of anything, right? I have things that I like, and I tell people, this is what I use because this is what I happen to like. But I will say that Tamykah's products are awesome. I have used them. I know for sure. Her
Thank
toothpaste
you.
is great. I'm mad that I ran out. Her deodorant, like I'm a natural deodorant junkie. I probably have like 6 or 7 different brands of natural deodorant. And hers is one of the best. And I love that you can customize the smell because you give people options of different fragrances for your
Mm-hmm.
natural deodorant. Um, the all-purpose cleaner with the clary sage. Oh, love that so much. That was awesome. The body scrub was great. I'm trying to think of what other stuff that you gave me. And I think you gave me, I want to say there was one other thing.
Oh, the
The body
body
wash,
wash
right?
too.
Thank you. Yes, those were all great. So, if anyone, based on tonight's conversation, if you're interested in making a switch to cleaner, better alternatives, Tamykah's products are, they should be at the top of your list for sure. And she has a awesome subscription box. So
I
tell them
love
about
it.
your subscription box so that they can, they can understand how that
Oh,
works.
awesome. All right, Jessica, my bad. I know you're a little salty about the body butter thing. I'm so sorry. Renee, I'm gonna type in the website in the comments now before I
Yeah,
forget.
so you guys can check it out.
But I have I have a subscription box. I just actually debuted it the end of last year. So the subscription box, you can cancel whenever you want, but it's a monthly subscription box. You don't ever have to worry about running out of stuff, which is really the main reason that I did it. But in the subscription box, you get 7 products that are already on the Xanthines line, that everybody love.
Yes.
But you get the honey body wash. You get to pick whether you want lemongrass, grapefruit ginger, the citrus, or the peppermint vanilla. So you have the body wash, you have the body butter, body scrub. You also have the lip balm, which you also have options of as for flavors. You have the remineralizing toothpaste. You also have the what am I missing? What am I missing? The hand sanitizer and the deal. So the hand sanitizer is alcohol free and it's aloe based because I really don't like Purell because it's alcohol. So it dries the hands out. But the problem too is that it has ethanol in it. Ethanol is the same alcohol liquor that helps us get a little tipsy. So if we get a little tipsy and the alcohol content in the hand sanitizer is higher, imagine a child. You don't put that in the cabinet because you think that it's harmless. Imagine a child finding the Purell and deciding that they're going to taste it. That's been creating a lot of problems because children are getting, alcohol poisoning. Some of them have died from ingesting sanitizer. So
Oh, wow.
with my sanitizer that comes in the box, it uses the power of essential oils
Yeah,
to do the same antibacterial and antifungal cleaning. And you know about essential oils.
absolutely. I love them.
So that's pretty much the body box, and it's $45. $45 a month. You actually do get way more than $45
I was
worth
just
of
going to say
products.
that's
But
7
you can
products.
cancel anytime, and you can also gifts.
Yeah. That's a lot for $45. Like, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
an awesome
yeah.
gift.
Take advantage,
Yeah, because
guys.
I'm sure the prices are going to be going up soon. So get in while
And
you
these
can.
are full size products. These are not samples.
Right. Yeah. So make sure you get in,
That's
get
right.
on the subscription soon, because I have a feeling that prices are probably going to go up soon. So take advantage while you can. And like I said, I don't really attest to very many products, but Tamykah's products I personally used before and I highly recommend for sure. So, any last words you want to
Appreciate that.
leave?
I hope I didn't scare anyone. We don't need to live in a bubble. We just have to be more aware of, the things, the things that we're using, because we have children. We have a next generation that we need to educate
Yeah.
about the products that they're using. It's not all about what you're eating. I've been eating well, but they're not using the correct product. So it's kind of like nothing is happening. People are still having weight loss issues, allergic to everything. People are having reproductive issues. They're having fertility issues. Men have low sperm count. All of these things can be contributed to from various things, but there's some that we do have control over.
Right.
So by lessening your toxic load,
Yep.
meaning the toxic product that you're using, you can at least give yourself a fighting chance, against some of the things that you may not have control over, like the quality of air in your city.
Right.
And things like that. So if you have any questions, you can go to the website, and my contact information is there. You can reach out and email if you've got a question and you think of it later.
Or you can post it on
that's pretty much it.
You can post any questions on the comments in the video. We'll be, I'll check them out. I'll check comments and let you know if there's anything specific for you over the next couple of days. So as people are watching the replay, if you have questions, for sure, type them into the comments and we will get back to you. If anyone is interested in doing a detox, definitely let me know. Reach out to me. You can message me, private message me on Facebook, or drop a comment under the video, and I will reach out to you. And stay tuned for the next one. I had fun doing this one as soon as we figured out the whole technology situation. And I think we will do a couple more of these in the very near future. Awesome. Cool. So any last questions? Thank you all for joining. Nancy, appreciate you for tuning in, and everyone else. Sophia, I know you joined late, but the replay will be there, so you'll be able to go back and watch it later. Miranda, thank you for showing up and asking all of your questions. They were very helpful. Everyone, Heather, everyone that's on, we really appreciate your time. We know that you could have been spending it doing something else, but we are glad that you spent it with us. And again, if you have any questions later that come up, definitely feel free to reach out to Tamykah or reach out to me, and we will be happy to answer them for you. Cool. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.
Good night.